Book of Heaven, Volume 13, November 19, 1921. The Two Props. In order to know the truths, it is necessary to have the will, the desire to know them. The truths must be simple. I was keeping company with my Jesus, agonizing in the Garden of Gethsemane, and as much as I could, I compassionated him. I pressed him tightly to my heart, trying to wipe his mortal sweats. And my sorrowful Jesus, with faint and expiring voice, told me,
"My daughter, hard and painful was my agony in the garden, maybe more painful than that of the cross. In fact, if that was the fulfillment and the triumph over all, here in the garden it was the beginning, and evils are felt more at the beginning than when they are ended. But in this agony the most harrowing pain was when all sins came before me, one by one. My humanity comprehended all their enormity, and each crime carried the mark, death to a god, armed with sword to kill me. Before the divinity, sin appeared to me as so horrid, and more horrible than death itself. In just comprehending what sin means, I felt myself dying, and I really died. I cried out to the Father, and he was inexorable. There was no one who would at least give me some help, so as not to let me die. I cried out to all creatures to have pity on me, but in vain. So my humanity languished, and I was about to receive the final death blow. But do you know who prevented its execution and sustained my humanity from dying? The first was my inseparable Mama. In hearing me ask for help, she flew to my side and sustained me, and I leaned my right arm on her. Almost dying, I looked at her, and I found in her the immensity of my will intact, without ever a break between my will and hers. My will is life, and since the will of the Father was immovable and death was coming to me from creatures, another creature, who enclosed the life of my will, would give me life. And here is my Mama, who in the portent of my will conceived me and gave me birth in time, now giving me life a second time to let me accomplish the work of redemption. Then I looked to the left, and I found the little daughter of my will. I found you as the first, with the retinue of the other daughters of my will. And since I wanted my Mama with me as the first link of mercy, by which we were to open the doors to all creatures, I therefore wanted to lean my right arm on her. As for you, I wanted you as the first link of justice, to prevent it from unloading itself upon all creatures, as they deserve. Therefore I wanted to lean my left arm on you, so that you might sustain it together with me. With these two props, I felt life being given back to me, and as if I had suffered nothing, with firm step I went to meet my enemies. And in all the pains that I suffered during my passion, many of which were capable of giving me death, these two props never left me. And when they saw me nearly dying, with my own will which they contained, they sustained me and gave me as though many sips of life. Oh, prodigies of my will, who can ever number them and calculate their value? This is why I love so much one who lives in my will. I recognize in her my portrait, my noble features. I feel my own breath, my voice. And if I did not love her, I would defraud myself. I would be like a father without offspring, without the noble cortege of his court, and without the crown of his children. And if I did not have the offspring, the court, the crown, how could I call myself king? So my kingdom is formed of those who live in my will. From this kingdom I choose the mother, the queen, the children, the ministers, the army, the people. I am everything for them, and they are everything for me.
Then afterwards, I was thinking about what Jesus had been telling me, and I said to myself, how can it be put into practice? And Jesus, returning, added,
"My daughter, in order to know the truths, it is necessary to have the will, the desire, to know them. Imagine a room in which the shutters are closed. As much sunlight as there might be outside, the room remains always in the dark. Now, opening the shutters means wanting the light. But this is not enough if one does not take advantage of the light to reorder the room, dust it, get down to work, almost so as not to kill the light that one is given, and render oneself ungrateful. In the same way, It is not enough to have the will to know the truths. If in the light of the truth that illuminates him, one does not try to dust himself of his weaknesses and reorder himself according to the light of the truth he knows, and, together with the light of the truth, get down to work, making of it his own substance, in such a way that the light of the truth which he has absorbed may shine forth from his mouth, from his hands, from his bearing. It would then be as if he killed the truth, and by not putting it into practice, it would be like remaining in total disorder before the light. Poor room, full of light, but all messy, upside down, and in total disorder, and someone in it who does not bother reordering it. What pity would it not arouse? Such is one who knows the truths and does not put them into practice. Know, however, that in all the truths simplicity enters as the first nourishment. If the truths were not simple, they would not be light, and would not be able to penetrate into the human minds in order to illuminate them. And where there is no light, objects cannot be distinguished. Simplicity is not only light, but is like the air that one breathes, which, while it cannot be seen, gives the respiration to everything. And if it wasn't for the air, the earth and everyone would remain without motion. So if the virtues, the truths, do not carry the mark of simplicity, they will be without light and without air.
Thank you for being a part of our community here at Divine Will app. If you enjoy listening to Jesus' lessons on how to live in the divine will, please give this video a thumbs up. Your likes help us reach more souls yearning to live in the kingdom of the divine will. We'd love to hear your thoughts and reflections, so drop a comment below. Your insights not only enrich our community, but also inspire others on their spiritual journey. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By joining us, you're helping to spread the news of the kingdom of the divine will, so that together we can bring His kingdom to reign on earth as it is in heaven. In the divine will, always.